My name is Lars Johnson, and I am the chair of the Door County Board of Adjustment. Let me introduce our board members. Seated to my far right is John Young, Bob Ryan, Chris Anderson, and representing the planning department this evening and acting as our recording secretary is Jeff Cuso. We have one case this evening, and it's from the town of Sebastopol. In just a moment, I'll read it into the record. And let me just also explain to the members in the audience that we are normally a 5-member board. Tonight we have a 4-member board. So we have to have a majority to render a decision. In other words, if there is a vote and it is a 2-2 tie, then the decision or the variance is denied. So it's important that we take our time and go through this and give due diligence to the applicant and make sure that we're ready to render a decision when that time comes. When that time comes this evening, after we've heard all the testimony, we'll have an opportunity to then take a moment. I'll ask for a motion from the floor and a second so that we can get to our deliberations, and in our deliberations we write down our reasons for either grant or deny a variance, and that usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will reconvene and announce our decision. It's important when you do come forward this evening to come forward and state your name and address for the record. And it's the practice of the Door County Board of Adjustment to swear each and every witness in under oath. Unless you are represented by an attorney, then we will forego that formality. And then once you've had the opportunity to present your testimony, we will go to the audience and ask the audience if there's anybody present that would like to offer testimony in support of the variance. We'll ask the planning department if we had any letters in support. Then we'll go to the audience and ask if there's anybody present to offer testimony in opposition, followed by letters in opposition. And if there's any opposing testimony, the applicant will have an opportunity to come back and rebut testimony that was perhaps negative towards their application. So I think I've covered all of the bases. So I think we can proceed with the town of Sebastopol. You might want to help me with the last name. Is it
Dykert.
Dykert, thank you. A.J. Dykert petitions for a variance from section 3.5 paragraph 3 of the Door County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, which requires structures to be set back at least 65 feet from the center line of the right-of-way of a town road. The petitioner proposes to construct a 32-foot by 44-foot 2-story attached garage and a 3-foot by 16-foot 2-inch covered porch addition as close as 55.4 feet from the center line of the right-of-way of Little Harbor Drive. This property is located at 6333 Little Harbor Drive in Section 6, Town 28 North, Range 26 East, and in a single-family residential 20,000 square foot zoning district. Jeff.
Okay. The subject property is located on the Bay of Green Bay in the community of Little Harbor, which is located in the town of Sebastopol. This property is located approximately 5 miles north of the city of Sturgeon Bay and slightly over 1 mile north of George K. Penney County Park. Subject property is address 6333 Little Harbor Drive. The property is surrounded by the Bay of Green Bay to the south, Little Harbor Drive, and a 10-acre lot zone, single-family residential 20,000, and wetland to the north. Small riparian lots zone, single-family residential 20,000 to the west, and small lots zoned high-density residential to the east. Bayshore Drive is also to the east. The petitioner is requesting a grant of variance from section 3.05 parent 3 of the Door County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, which requires a 65-foot setback from the center line of the town road right-of-way. The petitioner proposes to construct a 32 by 44 foot 2-story attached garage and a 3-foot by 16-foot 2-inch covered porch addition as close as 55.4 feet from the center line of the right-of-way. The property currently contains a non-conforming single-family residence, that is located only 51.8 feet from the center line of Little Harbor Drive right-of-way. There is also a non-conforming shed on the property located only approximately 45 feet from the center line of the Little Harbor Drive right-of-way. The applicant is proposing to remove the existing non-conforming shed if this is approved. Both structures predate the adoption of shoreline zoning. In 1981, except for an addition, this 18 by 28 foot addition here, that was approved by a variance in 1981 to be located too close to the right-of-way.
That notch that comes towards the new proposed addition?
Correct, just that little notch that comes out to 18 feet out, 28 feet. The proposed attached garage and covered porch will comply with all other zoning requirements. Just going through here, here's what the addition is proposed to look like. Floor plan, we have a first floor and then storage above. And then a second story deck coming out the rear. And then just here's some pictures that the applicant submitted. Off to the left is the non-conforming garage, and we're facing at where the proposed addition would be located. Here we're facing towards Bayshore Drive. And the property is the subject structures on the right. Here we're facing north towards Little Harbor Drive from the rear of the house. Here's just the northeast corner of the home. And here again, we're facing Little Harbor Drive to the north. And that is all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. For the record, do you want to also tell us a little bit about Little Harbor Drive? Is it a dead-end road? I believe it is, based on what's in our...
Little Harbor Drive is a dead-end road. You can, as you can see on the aerial here, it ends up in the top left-hand corner there. And actually, it's pretty much not completely constructed towards the end there.
A lot of vacant lots?
No, most of the lots around there are developed. There's only 2 vacant lots at the end of the road, and then there is a vacant outlot, here I'll highlight it, which was historically a man-made lagoon, which has recently closed in by itself, so it's no longer navigable.
That area north of Little Harbor, that's all wetland there?
It's zoned all wetland. It's owned by one of the property owners, actually the property owner at 6369 Little Harbor Drive. I can pull up the wetland map.
That's okay.
How much of the property, how many acres is that?
That is slightly over 10 acres. Pull up that's what the wetland maps show. The owner of that property, just for a little history, is he did have the DNR come out and designate a small portion as being upland, but that doesn't mean that there's not more upland on that property.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Any other questions for Jeff? Okay. AJ, you want to come and join us, please? Sure. And if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
It's Adam J. Dykert, 6333 Little Harbor Drive.
Okay, and you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. In your own words, and if you could pay close attention to the 3 criteria that you did in your application, because that's important for this board in order for us to find a reasonable way to grant you a variance. So it's important for you to focus in on the 3 criteria.
Sure. Jeff, could you go back to that picture that shows the front door?
Sure.
Essentially why I want to attach the garage. Of course, there's enough room where I could have a detached garage and put it inside of the footprint, the buildable footprint. However, this right here is my only access to the house. I really want to attach the garage so that I can come through that side of the house into the house. That white door behind is the basement stairwell. So it's not like I can push the garage back to, this is my only access, easy access without destroying a bedroom in the back and the stairwell to get into the house with an attached garage. So
And the way you place the garage, it's,
it's flush with the face of the house.
okay.
That door is the only access to the whole house?
That's on this side,
And
yes.
that's on this side of the house?
Correct.
Okay,
That door is facing Little Harbor
Okay.
Drive.
Gotcha.
So that's basically why I'm here, because I just really want the attached garage for aesthetics, and I want to remove the existing garage, which is in pretty rough shape. So it's a
Okay.
lot of animals in there.
Okay.
Where are all the animals going to go?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a safe zone, right?
Yes, right now. it's a
In
safe
your
zone.
application, you've focused in on unique property limitations. Do you want to take us through that one first?
I don't remember what I wrote.
Actual packet here.
Thanks. Yeah, the existing placement of the primary residence is at 50 feet off the center line. I believe Jeff mentioned that. Yeah, existing shed is rodent infested and is only approximately 40 feet from the center line of the road. A structure will be removed when the new garage is built. New structure needs to be attached at the ultimate northeast corner to allow adequate access from the attached garage to the residence. This is no harm to public interests.
Right.
Removal of non-compliant detached garage will enhance the overall appearance of the property and neighborhood. The new structure will not block any view of the neighboring property, which we mentioned before. Little Harbor is a dead-end road. I think it would be highly unlikely the road would need expansion in the future. Unnecessary hardship, existing non-compliant garage is road infested, no longer structurally sound. We must attach the new garage, again, to that. I explained that with the front door, with the basement stairwell, etc. So that's about it.
Okay, I understand the situation. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
No.
Okay. Anybody?
I have
Chuck?
a question, just for sake of knowing this. How far is the deck from the word septic? Is that
Right.
is a holding tank, or is that
It's-
a mound system, or
It's a
what?
field, it's a conventional system.
Okay.
And the extension of the deck is approximately 18 to 20 feet from the edge of the drain field.
Okay. That would be the edge of this field.
Correct, yeah.
And I noticed the well is in the front of the house. It's somewhat unusual.
Easier to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a shared well. I mean, it's
No, it's
just a
not.
well for that property.
Right,
Okay.
and I believe, previous owner told me it was about 18 years old.
Okay.
How old is your house?
The existing house is about 100 years old, and then that addition that Jeff had mentioned, the 28 by 18 addition was in the 80s, so
1981.
1981. And we recently got all the siding done after these pictures were taken, so the main house is all completed. I'm just praying we can put the garage addition on and tie it all in.
Jeff, the way the applicant has aligned the addition, part of the addition complies, correct?
That's correct. So the northeast corner complies by 1.2 feet.
Okay.
And the whole front of the house does not comply.
Correct.
It's the legal.
Really what we're looking at this point is the non-compliant portion is this,
Little bit.
that sliver right there, and then that entrance covered porch.
And you're saying if you would have shifted that garage addition back or down from this, your door entrance, would that have to be removed and come around that corner, and it would impact other situations in your house?
Correct. There's a bedroom on the south side, and then that stairwell takes up that space. And then there's literally only a 42-inch by 42-inch cube in the front corner of the house that I can access. Otherwise, I could pull it back and access somewhere else, but it really only gives me one shot.
Okay, all right. Any other questions for Adam? Okay, Adam, you're excused.
All right.
You might come back here in just a moment if there's, okay?
Sounds good.
Is there any, let the record show there's nobody in the audience to offer any testimony. Do we have any letters in support?
The only letter in support is the letter in support from the Town of Sebastopol Plan Commission, and that was included in your packet.
Okay. And let the record show there's no one in the audience to offer testimony in opposition. Do we have any letters in opposition?
We do have one letter in opposition. It is from the Gabbert Morris Life Estate et al., and they are the owners of the property at 5231. And it says, "To the Door County Board of Adjustment, Lars Johnson, Chair, Board of Adjustment. We own the property adjoining A.J. Dykert. Our property is at 5231 Bayshore Drive. We have the following concerns and questions regarding A.J. Dykert's petition. Location. We are concerned about the location of the proposed building in relation to the street, traffic, and visibility. Location. We are concerned about the location of the proposed building in relation to our lot line. Will the proposed building be built with the correct setback from our property line? Existing garage. Will the existing garage be removed? Usage. A.J. Dykert's property at 6333 Little Harbor Drive is zoned as being in a single-family residential zoning district. A.J. Dykert owns a construction business and frequently has construction vehicles/trucks at the Little Harbor address. Will the new garage be used strictly for residential purposes, or will it be used for commercial purposes? We are concerned about that. Sincerely, Morris Gabbert Life Estate et al., Jane Gabbert LaVale, Thomas Gabbert, William Gabbert.
Okay. Adam, do you want to come back up and address the points of their letter?
Certainly. As far as location, concerned about the location of the proposed building in relationship to the street, traffic, and visibility. You want to bring up that web map and show where their house is? I mean, we're not blocking any view of the water or anything for them, so their house is way up by the water, and I'm way back there, so I'm within all the setbacks, so.
Correct.
Location, concerned about the location, relationship to the lot line. I think I'm about 35, 40 feet away from their lot line.
That's correct. And this dashed line here is the required setback, the 10-foot setback, so as you can see,
Well within.
it meets the sides required.
Yes, the existing garage will be removed, as we discussed. Usage, I do have a van that has my name on it and a trailer that occasionally I keep at home. But no, this will not be used for commercial purposes. This is my personal residence. That should do it.
And the existing garage, you just want to reiterate that that's going to be removed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
You have another location for your business then?
I have a location at the corner of Oregon and 3rd Avenue in town, and another building also, so, no, my vehicles have writing on, so, and I gotta come home, right, so.
Okay.
This way they'll be in the garage. Right?
Thank
you.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's just talk briefly about the letter. The neighboring property owner has some opposition, and I think that certainly the applicant addressed those points, and, certainly if you move the garage into a more complying location, if you may, it will certainly encroach closer to their lot line than what is currently proposed, although it may not be, it still would be within the setback allowances, but certainly it would encroach a little bit closer. So I do think, although the neighboring property owner raised some legitimate points, I do think that the applicant has addressed those points. And I think the concerns certainly should be addressed to the neighboring property owner's satisfaction. I would assume, although they're not present, but I certainly, based on the content of the letter, it seems that the applicant has done a good job trying to figure out how this is going to fit on that property. So we've let the record show there's no one else to offer testimony on this case. Is there a motion from a fellow board member so we can get to our decision documents?
I'll make a motion to grant the variance.
I'll second it.
Motion by Bob, second by John, and now we can get to our worksheets. Okay, the first question deals with unique physical property limitations. In order for a variance to satisfy the unique physical property limitation, the question, does the property contain unique physical property limitations that would prevent compliance with the ordinance, must be answered affirmatively. John, you want to start?
Sure. I said yes. The addition could have been moved back 10 foot to stay in the building approved area, but the building area had to gain an entrance to the house with the garage. So this location, as presented, is the best for, is the best fit without being an I don't even know what I wrote there. Oh, without a bigger to the house, addition, hard word.
Okay, Bob?
I have yes as well. Current building does not conform with the setback, and a building will be removed that's even closer to the right-of-way.
Okay. I checked yes as well. I said the applicant's property residence is a legal non-conforming residence, and by allowing an attached garage, this will allow the applicant reasonable use of their property without causing other potential zoning issues. And the removal of a non-conforming garage on the property is a bonus. Chris?
I said yes, and I said the proposed garage addition will be further from the center line of the road than an existing home. To attached garage, the house leaves no other area to complete this addition without additional reconstruction of the house entrance for connecting and making the addition look good.
Okay. The next question deals with unnecessary hardship. It's a two-part question. In order for a variance to satisfy the unnecessary hardship test, the question, does denial of the variance requiring compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance provisions in question unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose, or B, is conformity with the regulation unnecessarily burdensome? One of the questions must be answered affirmatively. John?
I said B, yes. C, number 1, unique property limitations.
Okay.
I had yes for A. The addition will only have a portion within the setback and will be further from the right-of-way than the main building.
Okay. I checked yes for B. I said this slight encroachment into the road right-of-way is a reasonable use of this property.
And I say yes to B as well. There's no other placement available for attaching that to the house where the entrance is located.
Okay. And the final question deals with public interest, spirit, and intent of the ordinance. In order for the variance to satisfy the public interest test, the question, does the granting of the variance result in harm to the public interest, must be answered negatively. John?
No. I said the existing home is 100 years old, and the alignment of the garage was done to match the charm of the original home. And then I put in state section 1.04, 1, 2, and 4.
Okay. Bob?
I had no as well. A variance will allow a significant improvement of the appearance of the residence and will not encroach on the neighbor's view. I had 2, 4, and 6.
Okay. I checked no as well. I said the town of Sevastopol supports the variance request, and having an attached garage in a single-family zoning district is in the public interest.
And I said no as well. The removal of the old garage enhances property value. There's no obstruction of view, which could cause a problem.
Okay, great. There's been a motion on the floor and second on the floor to grant the variance request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And that's good for 1 year.
1 year, right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, you want to hand in our worksheets? You handed them to me already. Thank you. Chris, you could hand it off. Item 3.1 on our agenda is read and act on the minutes of the April 11th, 2017 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by John, second by Bob to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 3.2 is the final disposition of the following cases considered by the Board of Adjustment at the April 11th, 2017 meeting. Thomas T. Shepard, Lloyd Clark, and Barbara Reed, Quiet Side Leadership, LLC. Is there a motion to dispose of those cases?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bob.
Second.
Second by John to dispose of those cases. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 4.1, announce next meeting. Jeff Cuso.
Next meeting will be on May 9th. We have one case, so that'll start at 6:30, typical meeting. Chris, just in case, do you know if you'd be available for May 9th?
I'm available.
Put me down. Yes.
Okay, I don't foresee us needing to go to our alternates, but I'll just put
Okay.
you down as a yes for now. Anyone else not have any issues with that? And then, just as a reminder, May 23rd, and this includes you, Chris, as well as, we'll be having the educational workshop, primarily for just the shoreline zoning, new regulations. That starts at 4 o'clock to 6 p.m. And then we'll have a regular meeting afterwards at 6:30, so we can discuss arrangements for food in between.
Do you have any idea of how many cases there will be yet for that hearing? One so far.
One so far.
Okay, great. Thank you. Item then 5.0 is vouchers. And it is somebody help me with the math here.
$50.
$50.
$50. Get back before I forget you. Thank you.
Jeff, can any elected officials serve on the BOA, or do you have to be, I'm thinking of some town board members from Forestville to recommend.
I don't.
Let me just add, I don't think there's any provision that you can't, but I know that at one time early on in my career, I was on the town of Liberty Grove and the Board of Adjustment, and I found it incredibly difficult because anytime there was a case in Liberty Grove, I would have to abstain from, and I don't think it's fair to the applicants or the neighbors, and I think, in my case, I just finally decided that the Board of Adjustment is where I wanted to be, and I gave up my role as a town board member. That would be my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
Yeah, just to reiterate that, you have a higher chance of conflict of interest at that point.
I was kind of afraid of that. I'm trying to come up with some other people from the south.
It's
We
hard.
do have 2 people tentatively right now that said they'd be okay to do it.
Okay, great.
So we'll just have to see where that goes, as it needs to go to county board for approval.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by John, second by Chris. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Okay.